Hi, Heather Ramsey here, Rewired for Success. If you tend to take a lot of time making decisions and more close to reality, you feel like you have a lot of challenges in your life and or you sort of stew and brew about whether to do A or B and maybe get a lot of opinions and still delay on making that action, etc. This is really key for you. So we started a decision-making series, 3 parts, and then I added on another bonus and another bonus because there's just so many beautiful insights to bring you around the decision-making process to make it easier and easier for you. So here's one. Imagine that your challenges feel like a pebble being dropped in a pond, and that your answers feel like the ripples going out on that pond. That's the metaphor that I want you to at least see and ideally feel in your body when we transform a challenge into a great answer and a great decision. I'm going to tell you by way of a real story. So one of our best Rewired for Business clients, I'm going to call her by a different name because I'm going to refer to some specific financial things, but let's call her Sue, real woman, full-time job, launching her entrepreneurial business, wanted to do it at quote-unquote the right time, made one decision, which was, okay, let's refinance the mortgage so that we've got a financial cushion once my salary ends, and that financial cushion will carry the launching and financing of my business. Logical, fair enough. What happened in reality, and this often is the case, you might make one decision and the reality throws you some new challenges or curveballs. And in her case, the reality was that the refinancing wasn't coming through yet. Not that she hadn't got it, but they were delaying in terms of giving her that approval. And yet she wanted to give her notice to not delay on starting her entrepreneurial business full time. And so she came to one of our private Rewired for Business masterminds with this tussle, rustle. Logically, my brain says, let alone my parents in my lineage say, get the finances in order. And yet there was this kind of reins that didn't want to hold back the entrepreneurial stallion or stallionette anymore. And so what we did was we did basically an easy 2-step process. First, we cleared the energy of the old decision, clearing the slate that an answer, a new best answer in this moment can be easy for you. So it's first in your way clearing the slate. So clearing the sense of challenge, clearing the sense of I have to come up with the right answer, clearing the struggle. And you may have a way to do that. Eventually you may learn our subconscious rewired method. There's various ways to do it. Ho'oponopono. There's lots of ways of clearing. I'll just leave it at that for the moment. Secondarily, then what you do is you create a great question and you drop that question like a pebble in a pond. And so, for example, a great question for her, and you may want to start yours off with is this best for me? Or is it best for me to wait for the refinancing to come through before I give my notice at my job? As an example of after we cleared, we asked that question as the pebble in the pond. So we asked that question and then we had her feel what that answer felt like. So the mind, the first brain, the mind thinks and asks a good question. Is it best for me to wait for the refinancing to come through before I give my notice? And then we feel what the answer feels like. That's for option 1. Then we created a second question, again dropping like a pebble in the pond. Is it best for me to give my notice now, regardless of whether my financing has come through yet or not? And we took that second option, created a great question for her, dropped that pebble in the pond, that question, and then allowed the answer to come through as the feeling of the ripple. And so first we cleared, then we created a great question for option 1 and option 2. And dropped one question at a time like a pebble and gave her an opportunity to feel the answer to each one. And it was Unbelievable, the before and after. Before, there was this tussle, this rustle, this fear, this financing, etc. And after, it was like, wow, it's so clear to me. The choice for me is so clear to me. I'm going to give them notice now because I don't want to wait another minute for my entrepreneurial career to launch. It's all going to work out. So the other answer, option one, could have been right for you. It's secondary, but the process is key. So here's your challenge, or here's your invitation. Tune into a particular challenge that you've been having, or a decision that you've been wrestling with, one. Clear the space and set the possibility that it's entirely possible for you to come to a right or ideal answer for you now, easily, effortlessly, and naturally. And then create two questions, one for option number one and another question for option number two, asking them one at a time, feeling the feeling. And for her, the feeling of delaying was just felt horrible. And the feeling of going forward felt great. And that's the decision she made, and she went from there, and it's worked out very, very well. In fact, the refinancing came through. She gave her notice. They, in fact, may become clients of her new business, so they're so thrilled about what she's launching. So there is the Pebble in the Pond decision-making strategy as a second bonus to this decision-making series. Go forth, drop your ideal pebbles in your pond, and feel for the answer, and then act upon it. Heather Ramsey, Rewired for Success, supporting you every step of the way. Excited for you. Cheers, over and out.